Well, AEW's All in London might be on its way to being a huge success, but that doesn't mean it comes without its haters and without its detractors. If you look anywhere on the internet in the wrestling world these days, you will find people finding ways still to bury AEW, to shit on them for their ticket sales for this event. There's people out there saying that this could be Tony Khan's buying all the tickets himself. Tony Khan's buying them all up just to make it look good, right? And then he'll, resell them on the black market? Have a guy scalping them outside the building? Or they're saying that they're scalpers and secondary market people. To which I say probably some of them. And who cares? Tickets are sold, brother. Those are paid for tickets. Or there's people saying, that's not that many, really. 60-some thousand. It's not 90,000. Case in point, ESPN reporter Mike Coppinger, with a famously stupid tweet earlier this week in which he said, let's go ahead and pull this up here over on the Twitter. Look at this over on the side, by the way. I don't know if you can see this through the window. He's not anymore. What the hell? Boo. When I pulled this up, Savio Vega was trending in the sports column. That's dope. Savio Vega was trending on Twitter. Didn't expect that one in 2023, did you? But Mike Coppinger said here, hearing Wembley is scaled for only 40,000 for AEW. Far cry from last April when I was ringside for Tyson Fury, Dylan White, and it was packed to the brim with 94,000. Nothing beats the big fight feel at Wembley. What a douchebag. Before we get into Tony Khan's response, which has drawn up lots of opinions and controversy this week, Tony Khan never shy to run his mouth on Twitter and snap back at people if need be. And rightfully so. It's his company. He should be able to defend himself. But before we cover all that, just the thought, what a stupid tweet. Hearing Wembley is scaled for 40K. You're trying to take the piss out of AEW by doing that. And this is an accredited ESPN journalist. He's not some fucking schmuck mark on the internet just being a douche. This is a guy that is supposed to be a legitimate, serious journalist. And, of course, he pulled that out of his ass because we all know that AEW's already sold 60,000 and counting. So, stupid tweet. And we got Tony Khan, who had responded to that. Very appropriately, by the way. I think this one was reasonable, where he said, since you carry the credentials of a credible reporter, plus represent the worldwide leader, ESPN, I'm just curious, who was your source for this? And how can a reporter representing ESPN tweet something about a legit news story that's so blatantly wrong and easily verified as a falsehood? Boom. Go Tony Khan. What a fucking, that was a smart tweet. Calling him out on his bullshit. You're a credentialed guy. Show your sources. Right? Since you're the serious fucking professional journalist here for ESPN, where are you getting that information? Why don't you make that public? No comment or reply or anything from this Coppinger fella. But then what really got everybody kind of buzzing was Tony Khan's second tweet. He couldn't leave well enough alone. He, snorted another line of coke or something and had to keep going. And replies with this one here. Lies! What a load of crap. This was at Mike Coppinger, at Wrestling Observer, and at Dave Meltzer. Tell your agent Nick Khan to shove it up his ass. Notice he didn't tag Nick Khan in that one. But that did get a lot of people talking. So now a lot of people are saying, oh, there's coked out Tony Khan making an embarrassment of himself again. Could be, possibly. But before we talk about that more in depth, let's go ahead and check out these clips here. We got one first from Sean Ross Sapp and Jimmy Van over at Fightful on the list and your boy, talking about their thoughts on this Mike Coppinger fellow and his stupid, shitty tweet and Tony Khan's response to it. Then we're going to jump into an even more controversial opinion as we get to hear Eric Bischoff's thoughts. So first, SRS and Jimmy Van from Fightful, and then Eric Bischoff on the Strictly Business podcast. Check out these clips.
You had Mike Coppinger from ESPN outright lying on Twitter, saying, oh, wow, this is scaled for 40K, a lot different than the 93K when I was there watching. It's like, man, you work for ESPN. How are you just going to spew that out? I know you don't like the way that Tony Khan handled that, but I didn't have a problem with it. I grew up in the Attitude Monday Night War era where they were challenging each other to fights and driving Jeeps up to doors, and Billionaire Ted was hilarious shit. But I was so disappointed to see that from somebody who's supposed to be a respected, prominent boxing journalist, just running over here and being like, here's a lie. Here's a lie. I'm like, Jesus Christ, man.
The big thing for me is I just don't understand the motivation. And I'm not just talking him. I'm talking the people that are saying, oh, it was all scalper tickets, or, oh, AEW's buying them up themselves. I don't understand the benefit. If you don't like the AEW product, that's fine. Don't like the AEW product. Why would you wish the company to die effectively?
It's a huge accomplishment. And I think what Tony did in responding in that childish way that he does consistently is he lessened it. He should have laughed. He should have made a joke of it instead of, Nick Khan did it. For Tony Khan to come out and accuse Nick Khan and or his camp of deliberately misleading or planting misleading information to a reporter in hopes that it would get out, that would somehow benefit WWE. How? There is no how. It doesn't. It wouldn't. It never happened.
Well, as we
figment of Tony Khan's kind of bizarre imagination. But I just don't think this is a significant enough thing that where a guy like Nick Khan is going to take enough time out of his day to pick up the phone and try to feed disinformation to somebody, hoping that reporter is going to spill the beans. I just,
whether it was Nick Khan himself or not, I don't know. But I'm speaking from experience.
That's what Tony said. Does Tony have evidence?
I think he's saying it's coming from that camp. What I can only speak from my experience, okay? And this is in wrestling and out of wrestling. On the reporting end, I 100% was fed information from just about every major company, every sports team I ever covered, absolutely fed information that was used to undermine somebody else's organization. That 100% happens. So maybe it didn't in this case, but the context of the original tweet certainly felt that way to me. Because it was so easily...
Look.
That's a fair point by Eric Bischoff that it does cheapen it a little bit. Perhaps, I'm willing to grant him that there might be something to that. I personally don't have a problem with this. I would react the same way. I would come out fighting on this. This is the biggest thing that AEW has ever done other than start. Period. End of story. It's bigger than bringing back CM Punk was a pretty huge coup too, but this might be the biggest thing AEW's ever done. When you get some so-called fucking journalist out there, and that's the thing, is this Mike Coppinger carries a lot of weight. He is a known and respected journalist for ESPN. He carries a lot of weight. So when he tweets something like that, people are going to read that and believe it. It's not just some random ass mark. So of course, if I'm Tony Khan, I'm pissed. I'm heated about that. Lies, all fucking lies. Who's feeding this to you? Now, did he make a leap to accuse Nick Khan of that? Maybe. And that's what Eric Bischoff's razzing him about pretty hard. Yeah, he might have made a leap too far there to accuse Nick Khan out of the blue. But Mike Coppinger does or did work for the same agency that Nick Khan did. So there is ties there. Nick Khan did. I don't know if he represented Mike Coppinger directly, but Nick Khan's agency employed or represented Mike Coppinger. So, and then the ESPN tie, it's fishy. It's fishy. Who's feeding Mike Coppinger that information? Is he making it up? Or did somebody leak that to him? Or is somebody working with him to try to do that? You heard John Alba say it right there. That him working, like he knows for a fact, he can tell you from working as a journalist in both wrestling and sports. He cited both sports franchises and wrestling, that everybody on all sides leaks information to him, has leaked information to him, to take the piss out of another company, a rival promotion or a rival brand or franchise or team or whatever the fuck. That happens all the time. Of course it does. Of course it does. So you're going to tell me that it's not possible that somebody from within WWE is trying to leak this information, to Coppinger, that they're only set up for 40,000 people. It's not going to be that big of a deal. And what does that do? That lowers expectations. That makes AEW look like they don't think that they can do the full arena. Or in Coppinger, I remember when I was there for Tyson Fury and there was 94,000. Nothing like a full stadium. You know what I mean? Like, that's such a lowbrow, shitty. It was an attack. There's no other way to look at that than as an attack. And sure, Tony Khan could have left it at show your sources. That's, an accredited journalist working for, a reputable brand such as ESPN is out here just spouting bullshit. Show your sources. Who told you that? We all know it to be not true now because AEW sold a bajillion more tickets. They've sold 20,000 more tickets than that. I don't think Tony went too far. I think you got to fight, especially when you're number 2 like that. I think people forget that especially Eric Bischoff forgets that he used to do that shit all the time. This is the guy that gave away fucking WWE shit on the air. He would take the piss out of WWE every chance he'd get. He talks shit all the time. He still talks shit all the time. And out of the other side of his mouth, he's going to say, well, Tony Khan is making his brand look bad because he's talking shit and not being professional. This coming from a guy who challenged Vince McMahon to a fight. Tony didn't challenge Nick Khan to a fight. He just told him to shove it up his ass. So Eric Bischoff talks out of both sides of his mouth. And like Sean Ross Sapp said, we lived through that era, the Attitude Era, where they were challenging each other to fights and giving away shit on air and stealing talent. And this is part of the dirty inside. And look, you can't tell me that WWE doesn't pay attention to AEW and try to take the piss out of them when they can. By counter-programming them with NXT events, for example. We haven't heard that they're counter-programming this All-In event quite yet. We don't know what it's going to be quite yet, though, either. They're keeping that close to the vest. I think this is going to end up being an event on the new Max app. I don't know why Max is a stupid name. They should have called it HBO. Or even HBO Max. Why not? HBO Max is not a bad name. But HBO is better than Max. But it sounds like AEW is going to have some kind of streaming deal. They've made some kind of new deal. That's where this new show for Collision is coming from. They picked up a whole new show and then they canceled dark and elevation because the deal, rumors are, nothing's been announced officially yet, but the rumors are that the deal is comes with exclusivity to Warner Brothers Discovery, that AEW doesn't show anywhere else in the U.S., including on YouTube. So that's why their YouTube shows are gone. This does not count Ring of Honor, and it does not count international. It's just for the U.S., and that might come with a streaming deal to put AEW's entire back catalog on HBO Max, and their pay-per-views could be there, just similar to the way WWE's on Peacock, AEW is on HBO Max. And I think that would be a really smart thing to do. I don't want to talk too much of it here because I do expect an announcement about that to come very soon. And I'll have plenty to talk about with that when that happens, because I do expect that to come down the pike here pretty quick. But just for this, this tweet situation and everything, I don't blame Tony Khan for going out there and fighting for his brand. That's perfectly okay. It does make him look like a child. Tony Khan's a very eccentric, nerdy, childish, coked out. He's a weird, quirky guy. But this is his brand. This is his baby, and people are out there attacking it. And if you think they're not, you're wrong. Maybe that wasn't leaked by WWE, but it was certainly an attack on AEW nonetheless. It was a lie, and it came with a snarky, well, I remember Tyson Fury had 90,000, 4,000. Boy, it's great to have a sold-out Wembley. That was a shot. Where did that come from? Completely unprovoked by an ESPN journalist. Why? Where did that come from? Other than he has a direct business tie lineage to WWE, to Nick Khan specifically. Whether you think Nick Khan leaked that to him or not, or that put him up to it, or WWE, someone within WWE, even if they didn't, you have to read that as a personal attack at AEW. That wasn't just by unbiased reporting. He added his opinion in there. He tried to take the piss out of AEW by saying, their piddly-ass little effort is only set up for 40,000, where the big leagues, that's 94,000. AEW is going to laugh all the way to the bank when they get to the 80, 90,000. 94 is a tall task, but it's not out of the realm of possibility. As we're sitting here at 60+ thousand as I record this, I expect, through the week, more announcements, 70,000 up to 80. 94 is a tall task, but if they start announcing banger matches and we start seeing, Sting's last match at Wembley Stadium, Mercedes Moné against Saraya, or Britt Baker, or Jamie Hayter. My God, right? The Elite versus CMFTR, perhaps, probably not. Either way, CM Punk back. First match back, hopefully. They could, if they pull out all the stops and do some of the biggest matches, they could sell that bitch out. And then I want to see this Mike Coppinger fellow's face now, who hasn't had shit to say since. I'm on the Twitter here. There ain't nothing else fucking. He didn't have another word to say about it. And he looks like a schmuck right now because AEW has sold 20,000 plus more tickets than he said. So, is what it is. It's definitely a shot. Is it WWE? Who knows? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. If it was Nick Khan, WWE, or if this was just Coppinger taking his own shots. We know ESPN is buddy with WWE as well. Maybe it was just there was something behind it to intentionally hurt AEW. And how do you think Tony Khan handled it? Was the first tweet where he should have left it? Show your sources. You're a reputable journalist. Show your sources then. Or do you think he should have kept going all the way with the shove it up his ass? Tell Nick Khan to shove it up his ass. Or is that a step too far and just makes him look bad? I don't know. What do you think? And do you think they're going to sell 94,000? Or do you think that they'll kind of cap out at the high 60s, 70s, Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below, and I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next.
Oh yeah, thanks for checking out the video. Yeah, don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like it if you liked it. Yeah, and you can check out full episodes each and every Sunday right here on the channel. Oh yeah, dig it.